What happens when a 50-year-old deal that upheld the dominance of the US dollar vanishes overnight? What if one of America's closest allies, Saudi Arabia, decides to ditch the dollar for good? What if the world's emerging powers, China, Russia, BRICS, unite to challenge the global financial order and de-dollarization? You're about to witness one of the biggest shakeups in the modern economic history. Welcome back to TFI Global, and in today's video we are diving deep into the speculation as per media reports about the collapse of petrodollar agreement, Saudi Arabia's growing ties with BRICS, and how Donald Trump's tariff threats could backfire. Stick around because what you're witnessing is nothing short of a potential financial world war. The petrodollar doesn't refer to a new currency. It simply means US dollars earned by countries through oil exports. The system was born in the early 1970s after the US abandoned the gold standard. In 1974, a historic deal was made between the US and the Saudi Arabia. Oil would only be sold in US dollars. In return, America would guarantee military protection and armed support to the kingdom. This deal gave the US dollar unmatched dominance as global oil trade was now locked to it. More demand for oil meant more demand for dollars, keeping US borrowing costs low and its economy dominant. But that deal, signed on June 8, 1974, officially expired on June 9, 2024. And with that, if Saudi Arabia chooses not to renew the agreement, they will no longer be obligated to sell oil exclusively in dollars. This might sound small, but it's massive. It means oil can now only be priced and sold in other currencies like Chinese yuan, the euro, and even in local currency deals. If Saudi Arabia moves even a fraction of its oil trade out of dollar, the global demand for dollar could take a huge hit, and that's exactly what's beginning to happen. Enter BRICS, the powerful economic alliance now expanded to include 10 nations, including Saudi Arabia, Iran, Egypt, and the UAE. BRICS now represent 45% of world's population, over 37% of global GDP, and a rising share of world trade. But experts say their goal isn't just about economic cooperation anymore, it's de-dollarization, establishing a parallel financial institution. China and Russia are leading the charge, settling trade in yuan and rubles. India and Brazil are experimenting with local currency trade, and BRICS is even exploring the idea of a common digital currency, a BRICS coin, to bypass the US-controlled financial system altogether. This is a direct threat to dollar's dominance, and Washington knows it. President Donald Trump has called BRICS a little group trying to destroy the dollar, and he's not taking this lightly. In a recent statement, Trump threatened a 10% tariff on every BRICS country if they continue trying to bypass the dollar. That includes China, India, Brazil, and even Saudi Arabia, once a close American ally. Lindsey Graham, one of Trump's key allies in Congress, added more fuel, saying Trump would impose 100% tariffs on nations that keep buying Russian oil, naming India, China, and Brazil. Saudi Arabia's pivot is especially shocking because one of its long-standing friendship with the US. But the shift proves a hard truth in geopolitics. There are no permanent friends, there are no permanent enemies, only permanent interests. By joining BRICS and allowing oil sales in multiple currencies, Saudi Arabia is hedging its bet. It no longer wants to be tied to a single superpower, especially one that uses financial sanctions as a weapon. And the recent US sanctions on Russia have only accelerated the global push to reduce dollar dependence. So, is this the end of dollar? Not quite. While BRICS is making serious moves, the dollar still accounts for around 90% of currency trading and more than half of global central bank reserves. But the trend is clear. Dollar share of global reserves is slowly falling. Central banks are buying more gold and less dollars. Currency reserves are seen as potential targets in future conflicts, especially when Western countries weaponize the dollar against Russia, freezing their reserve. The trust in the dollar, once unquestioned, is starting to erode. We are entering a new era where global power is shifting from west to east, from unipolar to multipolar. The fall of petrodollar, the rise of China, and Trump's aggressive economic nationalism are all signs of this massive transition. If Saudi Arabia fully exits the dollar system, it will be a turning point for financial history. It will be a turning point in financial history, possibly the biggest economic backlash the US has faced in decades. What do you think? Is the dollar's reign over, or will America fight back harder than ever? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more deep dives into global power shifts. Thank you for watching and stay informed.